portion of whole chicken. Okay, first of all, what we're going to do is remove the wishbone. So the wishbone is at the top, around the neck area. You'll feel two hard ridges. So just using the tip of a knife, you can put the knife either side of it and then pull out the wishbones. Sometimes it'll come out whole, sometimes it'll come out in two parts. So if we work hard, as we pull those through, there's one piece, and here is hopefully the second piece. So we'll remove that because basically what I wouldn't do is be able to get to the meat that would be sort of trapped behind the wishbone. So now we're going to remove the legs. So we cut the skin between the legs and the crown. So as we work through it with a sharp knife, you'll remove the skin, you'll see a void, you sort of bring the skin back, and then you'll see this muscle here, which is basically the oyster muscle, which is like the most tenderest part of the chicken. So we bring the legs back, crack them back, and then basically just cut around it and remove the leg. So, and then the other side, so we will look at the other side. So again, cut the skin between the crown and the leg, and you'll see it opens up, and then we turn the chicken over, we crack back the legs, and again cut round where the oyster muscle is. So that's why as we remove the leg, that's simpler. Okay, so now we're going to move the breasts from the crown. So as you see at the top of the chicken, you'll see a line that goes down the back, which is the breastbone. So insert your knife one side of the breastbone, and nice long cuts, and we just cut all the way along until it gets right to the bottom of the carcass. So using the knife, we use the knife to do the work, and then use the bones as a guide for where we're going to cut. So nice long cuts rather than smaller cuts, so we get a nicer finish to the meat itself rather than just being all jagged. And as we get to the bottom, we will come to where the wing bone is that attached to the crown. So we just put our knife in, as you can see there, we just put our knife in, cut through, and that should remove the breast from the rest of the crown. We turn it over, and we just do exactly the same down the other side. So run your knife along the breastbone, take it along, and then just follow the carcass all the way along, nice long skewers, cuts, and that way we get a nice finish on the actual chicken breast itself and leave as little of the meat on the bone as possible. And then as we get to the bottom again, we come to where the bone is for the wing, and we just put a knife through, cut it through from there. Okay, so our carcass shouldn't be a lot of meat left in the carcass, just that little bit through the middle down the bottom, but that's pretty much it. And we'll keep those bones for stock and use those later on. Okay, so we're now, first bit we're going to work on next is the breast. So we're going to remove the wing but leave the bone in. So put our knife down, so at the end of the muscle between the wing and the breast, and we cut all the way around, and then just keep cutting until you get to the bone. Okay, so the skin starts to come away, as you can see. And then what we're going to do is turn the breast onto its front, skin side down, using the heel of the knife. We're going to just cut through the tip of the wing, and then what should do, that should break it, and then the wing should just pull off. If not, just give it another tap with a knife. Make sure that the skin is cut from the breast, and then we just work it around. That's it, and then the knife comes off. Okay, so the bone is really nice and clean. And again, put it down, quick hit, skin side down, and there's our wing that's been removed. So with our breast, we can then just trim up the skin and the fat, just so we get that nice little presentation. So whatever we're using it for, so it just looks really nice and sharp. And then when it goes into the fridge, we'll make sure that it's held nicely like that, so it keeps its shape and keeps how plump it is as well. Okay. So show you that for the next one. With that, remove any of the excess trim. Again, so we cut the knife, tip of the wing between the wing and the breast, sort of cut it all the way around, get rid of that bone, and then again, skin side down, cut through, and then we pull it off. Now, if you remove the wing and you've still got a little bit on the tip of the bone, again, which I'm going to show you in a second, to trim that up, we're going to cut it with the skin side down. And that way, when we trim it, it'll be a nice and clean cut. From the other way, it just shatters the bone and it doesn't give us the nice finish as we're looking for. And again, we're just going to trim up the breast, remove any excess skin, any excess fat, to just give us a really nice finished chicken breast. Okay, from the legs point of view, first thing I'm going to do is going to remove the top of the drumstick, sort of like knuckle area. Again, cut round the skin. Then when we've cut all the way around, again, skin side down, in a knife and just cut through. And the reason we do this is basically so when it cooks, it comes out a nice bone, it gives us a nice presentation. Any sort of sinew that comes through, just remove that because he just doesn't eat very well. It gets a bit elasticated. And then when we cut through this, instead of going straight, we're going to go at a slight angle. So as we cut through, and then hopefully that knife should take us straight through the knuckle. So that leaves us with one breast and one thigh. Okay. I'll show you on the other one. We'll get the other chicken leg over. And again, what we're going to do is cut around the top, around the skin by the knuckle, using our knife, cut all the way through. And again, then we're just going to cut the knuckle skin side down as before, and this just helps, really does help the bone from shattering, and makes it an easier cut. As we work it through, remove that top part, and again you can see that bone sticking out, so when it cooks, you know, it'll pop out and it'll give us a really nice finish and presentation. Okay, so again, the angle, so that's what you want to be going, not straight, it's a slight angle that goes where the bone is, where the basically what was supposed would be the chicken kneecap. Okay, so we have one thigh, one drumstick, another drumstick, another thigh. Then we have two breasts, and then 2 wings as well. So that gives us 8 pieces of chicken, and that's our chicken portioned into 8 pieces.